Welcome to the Nomadic Spaces podcast, where we talk all things interior design, tiny houses, and happy homes. Each week, we explore different interior design strategies, the unique challenges of small spaces, and accessible design solutions to help you create a more beautiful and happier home. Whether you're a fellow tiny house dweller or simply have an interest in interior design, this show has something for you. Hi folks, your host Sarah here. I am a professional interior designer and I run my own business, Suka Interior Design, where I transform spaces all over the country. I'm also a realtor here in Asheville, North Carolina, where I live with my pup Elvis in a vintage travel trailer that I renovated into my tiny dream home. Thank you so much for being here. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving a review, hitting some stars, subscribing, and sharing this show. It's how little shows like this survive. All right, let's get into today's episode. Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Nomadic Spaces podcast. Today's episode is seasonal interior design mistakes to avoid. Expert tips for a fresh and timeless look. When the seasons change, it is totally natural that we want to update our home decor and design to reflect the new mood. Whether it's swapping out summer decor for fall's warm tones or freshening up our space for spring, seasonal design updates can breathe new life into our homes. However, there are some common pitfalls I see that many people make when tackling these seasonal changes. From overdoing trends to neglecting long-term functionality, these mistakes can leave your home feeling cluttered, mismatched, or outdated. And in this post, I'm going to walk you through some of the most common seasonal interior design mistakes and how you can avoid making. By understanding what not to do, you will be well on your way to creating a home that feels fresh, balanced, and stylish no matter the season. Number 1, overcommitting to trendy colors. It is easy to get swept up in the latest color trends each season, especially when those hues are being splashed across magazines and websites and social media and our Pinterest. However, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is overcommitting to a trendy color that may not even really suit your home or personal style in the long term. So what is the problem here? Well, trendy colors like Pantone's Color of the Year can be super fun to experiment with. But when you go all in without intention and understanding, painting entire walls or investing in large pieces of furniture in these colors, you can really risk creating a space that feels more like a temporary trend than a timeless home. What is the solution? Instead of committing to one bold color, focus on using trendy colors in smaller and more flexible ways. The accent pieces like throw pillows or art or small decor items. This allows you to stay on top of trends without overwhelming your space or getting locked into a style that may quickly feel dated. For example, if the trend is a deep earthy green, incorporate it with a few throw blankets or vases, even plant pots, rather than painting an entire room or buying a green sofa. This keeps the look fresh, but doesn't lock you into a scheme that might not last long. Here's a little expert tip. As an interior designer, unless you're working with a pro all the way through your project, I recommend for DIYers, just stick with more neutral tones for larger items like walls or sofas in residential properties. If you're designing a vacation rental, that we might want to stand out a little more, but for simplicity's sake here, I like to recommend that DIYers use neutral tones for walls and sofas and use color to play with on smaller details that are easier and cheaper to swap out if trends change.
Hi friends, I hope you are enjoying this show. Listening to podcasts and reading blogs like this is a great way to gain knowledge. But to really make change, you need to take action. Luckily, taking action doesn't have to be overwhelming, timely, or expensive. My Desk Refresh Guide is a great resource you can download totally free from the link in the show notes. This guide will break down the redesign process into simple, actionable steps with tangible results to transform your space without spending a cent. Now let's get back to the episode.
Number 2, ignoring the functionality of seasonal decor. Seasonal decor is a wonderful way to keep things fresh, but it's important to remember that your home should still be functional and livable regardless of the season. A common mistake is adding seasonal items that may look good but don't serve a practical purpose. For example, in the fall, it's really really tempting to pile on the decorative pumpkins, autumn leaves, and other festive items. But while these can look lovely in the moment, they can quickly start to feel cluttered and overwhelming, especially in smaller spaces. You may also be putting decor in places that disrupts daily functionality, like on stairs or taking up space on the dining table, or even shelves that become hard to use. The solution is using seasonal decor that complements your home's functionality and doesn't get in the way. So when you add seasonal touches, consider how they will fit into daily life. You can choose multifunctional pieces like a seasonal throw blanket that's cozy and practical, or decorative trays that help organize smaller things while adding seasonal flair. Think about the space you're decorating and avoid filling up every corner just for the sake of decorating it. It's okay to have some room to breathe. An expert tip for decorating for the holidays or a seasonal change, I always recommend choosing a few key spots in your home where seasonal decor will shine without overtaking the entire space. So for example, maybe it's a fall wreath on the door or autumn themed candles on the mantle. I love a mantelpiece for seasonal decor. And I also really love throw blankets and pillows on the sofas because they really can create a cozy vibe but don't overwhelm the room. Number 3, focusing too much on decor and forgetting about functionality. It's easy to get carried away with seasonal decor and forget about the functional needs of the home. It's important to balance our style with practicality so our space remains comfortable and usable. The problem is that when we approach colder months, a lot of folks rush to add fluffy rugs or heavy throws and forget that these items could cause a potential tripping hazard or clutter the space. And in the spring, people are so focused on bringing in light, airy furniture that they might neglect the need for adequate storage or seating, which results in clutter. So the solution is to always prioritize your space's functionality first and decor second. So ask yourself what you truly need for your lifestyle during that season. Do you still need extra storage for blankets and clothes? Do you need more seating when you're hosting family and friends during the holidays? Adding seasonal pieces that fulfill a need while looking beautiful is the best approach. Expert tip here, when I'm doing seasonal updates, I always remind my clients to ensure that decorative items are still serving a purpose, whether it's additional storage or lighting, or maybe it's improving the flow of the room. For example, a stylish storage basket can be a functional yet decorative piece for storing seasonal throw blankets or pillows. Number 4, neglecting to layer textures for depth and warmth. One of the best things about updating your home for the season is that it gives you an opportunity to add rich textures that bring in warmth and coziness, especially in the cooler months. Unfortunately, many people overlook the importance of layering textures to create a comfortable and inviting atmosphere. The problem is that it's really easy to rely solely on color when updating for seasons, but failing to incorporate texture really just leaves your space feeling flat and uninviting. If your design is solely based on light, airy fabrics without grounding weight of textured items, your space can feel flat, incomplete, or just too stark. So the solution is, instead of just focusing on color updates, think about layering textures like throws, rugs, pillows, and even different fabrics like velvet or wool or linen. These can add richness, warmth, and a sense of depth to the space. As an example, a chunky knit throw or a woven jute rug can make a space feel cozier and more dynamic. Expert tip on texture. As a designer, I absolutely love mixing up different textures within a room. In the winter, this could mean maybe it's a plush velvet sofa or cushions, a wool throw, maybe a textured rug. And in the spring, you can think about lighter textures like linen throws or cotton cushions to keep things feeling fresh, but you're not losing the sense of warmth and comfort. Number 5 is over decorating and creating clutter. A common mistake during the holiday season, hello Christmas, is trying to decorate every single surface. And while it is tempting to fill every shelf, counter, and corner with seasonal decor, this leads to clutter. A room should have a balance of decor and open space to allow the decorative items to breathe and be appreciated, and for the room to feel comfortable. The problem is over Over-decorating with too many items, even if they're beautiful, can make the space feel cramped and disorganized. You might end up with tables full of knickknacks or overstuffed mantles, shelves that are just shoved full of trinkets and really hard to navigate. And what happens is instead of creating a welcoming, cozy atmosphere, your home can start to feel chaotic and overcrowded. So the solution is be selective with your seasonal decor and place items in a way that enhances the space rather than overwhelming it. Choose a few statement pieces that really capture the spirit of the season and let the rest of the room shine with its natural features. Remember that less is often more when it comes to seasonal decorating. When I'm working with clients on seasonal updates, I always remind them, keep things simple. Choose a few key pieces that will make an impact. Maybe a bold floral vase in the spring or a few carefully placed candles in the fall, and leave space for the room to breathe. So in conclusion, seasonal interior design updates are a great way to refresh your home, but they require balance and thoughtfulness and a little bit of planning. By avoiding common pitfalls like overcommitting to trends, neglecting functionality, or over-decorating, you can create a space that not only looks great, but also works well for your lifestyle. As always, thank you so much for being here. I would love to connect with you. You can reach out to me through the link in the show note. You can also use the contact page on my website, sukainteriordesign.com. And you can also send me a DM over on Instagram. I hang out there a lot. My handle is at sukainteriordesign. That is SUKKHA Interior Design. As always, thank you so much for listening, and until next week, home happy. I hope today's episode was helpful and inspiring. My goal with this show is to help others make change that transforms their space and achieve their design goals. But just absorbing content, even brilliant content like this, doesn't get results. Taking action does. If you're still listening, you might be ready to fully accomplish your design goals. My challenge to you is to commit to taking one action right now before you don't. Taking action might look like booking a design project jumpstart, or maybe it's downloading the desk refresh guide, or just signing up for my mailing list. Maybe it's scheduling a complimentary connection call with me to talk more about your design goals in detail. You can find out more about all of these fun things I just mentioned and contact me directly through my website, which is sukainteriordesign.com. That is SUKKHAINTERIORDESIGN.com. I love to connect, so please don't be a stranger. As always, thanks for being here and being a part of this community. If you liked what you heard, please take a second to review, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. It's truly the easiest way to support me and this podcast. Until next week, take care and home happy.